Is suffering necessary for personal growth? Well, what do you think? What do you feel? Take a deep breath right now. Take a deep breath in, fully in, and allow gravity to bring the exhale all the way into the seat of your being, into your own wisdom. And know that for yourself. How does this statement feel? Suffering is necessary for my personal growth. As an acceptance of what is. How does that sit in your own personal wisdom? Is that true? I can't even go there, actually. How did this come to me this morning? So something is happening with the YouTube algorithm. Well, it's happening with me. So I'm changing. I've changed. And YouTube is trying to figure out what my interests are now. So it's bringing up all these different videos, new suggestions. And this video that showed up this morning, and this is not about the video. I did not listen to it, and I don't even remember the title very well. It was something about why suffering is necessary. And it was kind of implying, or again, something like that, but it was implying this, it's just an acceptance. Let's just embrace suffering as a benevolent, it's for our own good type thing. That's the feel that I got. And this anger spiked. I mean, it was literally from the core of my being up my spine. And I remembered, oh, anger is this call to action. And I said, okay, I'm going to dance and I'm going to express. But here I am, I'm expressing as the inverse breath. I'm talking to the ether. I'm talking to this collective belief that apparently is still going on in my mind. Was like, how are we still talking about this? So I'm really having this wave in front of me, and I'm offering the inverse of that belief. Suffering is not necessary to my personal growth. Now, having said that, why is this happening, right? Or how come we came into that correlation? And truth is always crystal clear, logical, right? It's always so, it is childlike. This is like, it reminds me of Bring Your Child to Work Day. This is a long time ago, right? And the production manager brought his boy, and he was so excited to show him, look, son, this is a saw, and this is a lathe, and this is a mill, because that's what it was. It was a machine shop. And the kid was so confused, and the dad is like, yeah, and oil and coolant, and these are the chips that these machines make, and we're taking these castings and look at this beauty, because we were all so proud of these beautiful machined parts. And the kid was just getting more and more confused. And then finally he's like, but Dad, what is all this? You said you're making money. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. This is what we need. This is what we're missing. This crystal clear clarity, and what we have correlated, this misinterpretation of logic that somehow, if I didn't have capacity, if my awareness clarity was at, I'm going to say, a very low level, and I didn't have that ability, the skill to process what is And I needed the suffering to bring me to my knees so that I can pause. I can be with myself. I can shut up for the moment. I needed to increase my capacity to then come into clarity, to come into growth. We then correlated that, oh, but that suffering was necessary. But do you see how that is so illogical? It is not truth at all. We're mistaking a lack of capacity with this suffering as acceptance somehow that we needed. We needed. I think we're coming up at a huge collective, as a huge collective wave. We're coming up to this threshold, and I think that's why this wave is like calling. Where is the inverse, right? Am I still growing into this belief, or am I peaking and I'm looking for my inverse as a belief system, as a truth, so I can collapse back into stillness? And I think there's a huge collective seeking for articulation. Because look, when we first started, and I'm part of that, right? I'm not talking, I've been there. I truly believed that I needed that suffering. And what I'm seeing, we went through this phase, right, when the introspection, the psychotherapy, the model of understanding and correlating emotion and dissecting the emotion was liberating. Because that liberation, that coming into clarity of what is this emotion reflecting about myself? What is this emotion wanting me to do as a reframe, as a clarity, right? And then when we were able to hold that and play within that field, we then moved deeper into belief system. What is this emotion telling me as a core value that I hold, as a standard that I'm behaving from? Now I can question that belief systems that I created my whole identity around. I created my whole reality around these core belief systems. And that first step was necessary to stand on, to gain enough growth and emotional resilience to question some really, really hard things that we once held as truth, and now they were crumbling. But here is where I think this resonance is coming to, because if we're sticking around in that space for too long, we become identified with where's the wisdom, where's the revelation in this emotion, what is my core belief? We're identifying with what is the name, the description, the role that we're playing. It's our own savior, our own, it's this model of, I used to be a victim and now I'm a savior. I don't know what that role would be. the solver. Oh my God. Yes. I'm identifying with my own solver. And I used to get this endorphin release or something, right? And I'm like, oh my God, this feels so amazing. But we're not getting that anymore. And we're stuck into this loop where it's like, I have to get deeper. So we also are avoiding through that the present moment, right? We're avoiding just being with ourselves, and we're kind of creating a whole new story. We're ready to abandon one story and then create a whole new story. And we're addicted to the meaning, and we're kind of enamored with the storytelling about ourselves. But again, I see how this is just a loop, a trap, and the threshold is that we're stepping into this clarity of maybe the sadness that arises is just sadness. And there's no wisdom to extract from that because the wisdom is already here within me. Okay, but here's another issue. Maybe we're stuck in this loop. This is another correlation. Because we think enlightenment is this iciness where bad negative emotions have been already dealt with ahead of time. Our aura or whatever has processed them before they hit me, and I don't have to feel this heaviness if I'm enlightenment, but because I'm feeling it, and because I'm feeling it strongly, I'm not enlightenment. I have not arrived. So therefore, I have to go back into the loop and go deeper within myself and create a whole new story. This is enlightenment does not create this iciness. It creates such clarity to identify the emotion and separation from the one feeling the emotion so that you can process, so you can be with yourself and with the emotion. This is the difference between duality and polarity. Within duality, there's contradiction. Your being has no capacity to hold two seemingly opposite emotions at the same time. With increased capacity, you can hold polarity. Polarity is I can hold sadness and know that I'm okay and I can be in peace. I can hold them, they exist at the same time. When that happens, because of your clarity, the emotion of sadness might be actually increased. The sorrow might be amplified because your capacity of you holding that emotion is not fragmenting you. It is not spiraling you down. It is not taking you into this place where you have to do something else. You have to create meaning. Now you have to create a story. Now you have to create a smaller world where you can you can process part of that emotion, and then the rest of the emotion is internalized. It is stored into the subconscious. What's the subconscious? Is the body. It is tissue. It is fascia. It is the endocrine system, the lymphatic system, cardiovascular, all that. And then your nervous system is fluttering. Now you're more anxious. So the more we can upgrade our capacity, our stillness. So when we come into this clarity that, oh, I do not need suffering. I do not have to accept suffering as this default mode. Oh, it just is. And I have to just work through that acceptance. It's the wrong acceptance, and wrong is the wrong word. Once we realize I'm giving myself permission ahead of time to increase my capacity and be present with myself at the capacity level that I am daily, and explore what is this wisdom within me. And many times these emotions from the subconscious start flaring up in that safety, in that container that we create within presence, within awareness. And when you are mature, ripe, these weird emotions start flaring up. If you cannot speak, think, give it a story, give it a name, correlated to this event, correlated to childhood, if you can muster enough being, presence, to be with you, with that expression, that's all it wants. It's all it's wanting. Then you start clearing and increasing your capacity where it is so clear. Suffering is not necessary. Sadness, sorrow, anger, they're all part of me. They're all part of movement, but I'm adult enough now to allow them to coexist, to allow them to have their own space, to create the rainbow, the multitude of who I am, the variation, the variability, the play, right? We need all of us. I need all of me to be who I am, right? Anyway, let me see where this wave is at. Yeah, I feel I'm done expressing. I feel completely clear. I feel actually giggly. And that's what this is how it is. It's like when we're done expressing, the effortless, it's back into this curiosity, back into this child, um like, okay, what do we play next? Right? This is, it can be easy. It can be easy. Anyway, thank you so much for participating in this breath with me. I'll see you around.